There we go. And I know today is Easter Day, so happy Easter. And share the link on here. And I saw a hair on the screen. I saw. Hey everyone. I can see a little hair on my head. It's a little bit, I think, a little, and I will see my brightness. Shell the Hedgehog.
Your colorful bunch.
That's supposed to be a reference or something, I know. May
I come in? Oh, hi, Alfie. So, very good news.
What is it?
Finally, it's written back. Yeah, that was so hard to try. Is that Shadow the Hedgehog? Let's see if it since the last one I saw it.
Oh, that's mine. That's mine, kitty.
I can see that. Oh my god. Can't believe it. Hello?
My
Anyways.
Shadow? What are you doing here in the stream?
Yeah, Shadow. What the heck happened to you?
Your colorful bunch.
No, these people hate it.
Shadow, what did you do with my outfit? You've been taken.
I didn't do nothing, Queenita.
What are you?
But why are you playing this?
You want something? Reason?
Because it's Freddy time.
Freddy. Oh, that's Raider.
Yeah, I was like, I think I know who he is. I think I know who you are, man. Though.
Freddy Fazbear. I should have known.
Also, Zip. If that's your name.
Zip? Are you kidding me? You idiot! Why?
Yeah, you haven't noticed.
No,
If you haven't noticed that my second channel got terminated again.
Oh no, not again! How the heck happened?
Long story.
Can you tell me a long story now?
So now it's gonna be Freddy time every day.
Oh my god, I hate you so. Okay, as I said, I was busy with stuff. I mean, but this is the you know, Easter day. And I think I know my own positions, but I actually
Oh, by the
never
way,
know
happy
someone.
Easter.
Yes.
Thank you, you too.
Also,
All
Zip, have you seen a post I just made of it though? I got.
Yeah,
Was it cool?
yeah.
Speaking of Coros, I have some bad news. Coros was really sad because she's about to quit Cancer Tumor. I feel terrible.
It's like silence of it though. It's like nothing.
Freddy?
Maybe nobody cares.
Madam Fortress, mommy.
Dave,
What did we do to?
do you know what the shadow stands for?
No. What is shadow stands for anyway? Wait a minute. If it's a shadow, and what the heck happened to the past few minutes with Freddy?
Freddy time. Freddy time.
Hey, Zach. Welcome. Thanks for the shallow milk cookie. You kidding?
What?
Yeah, you didn't hear from me.
It's Freddy time.
I'm gonna sue you for this. I'm gonna sue you for this,
Freddy.
Trouble Party! KO! I'm so glad to be back.
Can you tell the music in the background I'm playing?
And you're also glad it's Freddy time. Wait, what'd you say, Leaf?
Yeah.
Did you hear the music I'm playing in the background?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know.
a fucking Pokemon Breeder.
You can't hear the
Yeah, the Pokemon
back,
the Legends Breeder.
you can't hear the background music.
Yes,
I can't hear
love
it because it's so silent.
either. It doesn't
About
sound like
now?
I'm not working it.
Is it Flumpy?
Yeah.
No. It's pretty.
Oh, that
pretty fast
reminds
there.
me.
Oh no, it's over there. Well, welcome back, Tomato. Tomato.
Its name is Mr. Snickers.
And at the midnight, and until tomorrow.
Freddy time!
Sorry, Freddy, but you're still chicken.
I remembered that.
Oh yeah, have you watched the Minecraft movie, guys?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Totally
Yeah.
awesome.
Did you have you heard like of those bunch of people throws a lot of popcorn for the line for a chicken joggy?
Yes, sure is.
Fully, I was in the
No,
Minecraft
really?
movie.
Yeah, me and Cars were watching the Minecraft movie last time.
But well, you didn't hear me. I said of it. A bunch of people was yelling a lot of it for the line for a chicken joggy.
If only I was in the Minecraft movie.
Speaking of Minecraft, there's Dennis, the dog of Steve's dog.
Oh shit, Dennis.
You're out. Impossible.
It's been like forever since I came back.
I got a secret.
Damn it,
I'm
time.
bored because I hear it all lots of. All right, I'll just.
That's damn the damn bird were the same things. Never mind.
It's kind of awkward a bit though, like no one's talking.
I'm just watching
Oh,
TikTok.
it was the Shadow Crow. She stole my dress. She stole my cookies, but that's okay. I got it back.
I'm just
Please
watching a
don't.
few. I'm just watching a few TikToks.
You wouldn't dare.
No, seriously, I'm watching TikTok, Queen Lisa.
Oh, I think that was just. What do I think about me? Okay, that's fine. That's just fine. Don't sweat it.
More like Freddy time.
More like, have another time.
More like Freddy the chicken.
Yeah.
Don't you dare! Hey, Queen Lisa, guess what?
Already did.
Queen Lisa,
What?
me and Leah just named Stupid Freddy into Flabby Fat Bear. What's funny?
Listen.
The way I said Flabby, the way I said
No,
Flabby
no, no.
Fat
I
Bear.
was watching this video. Let me show you.
Just show us already, Elfie.
Dang, you don't have to be too rushing.
Here,
I'm
here's the
sorry.
video.
You know, it doesn't get it and
on-
be like something's happened.
The
Sorry.
3 ways to wake up with Nintendo Labo. Which one you choose?
I'm sorry, I cannot help it. I was doing stuff.
So
Told
which
you
one
guys
choose?
that was gonna happen. Not gonna happen because the last time I was
I told you it
busy.
was gonna be Freddy time.
I told you it was gonna be Chicken Freddy. Am I right?
So,
Mr.
matter of fact,
Bowler.
Queen Lisa, call him Flabby Fat Bear.
You hear that, Freddy? She calls you flat, fat Freddy.
What? What?
No, I meant Freddy, not you.
What?
I think she's talking about Flabby Fat Bear, aka Freddy Fazbear.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I remember this one. It was Christmas years ago with my friend. And she sent me, collaborate with the Princess Design 21. And right there, that's me. The beautifulness. What the heck was that? What in the world? Nah, it's fine. I'm just a little bit tired for something's wrong with today.
Freddy Fazbear and the man himself.
Leave me, stop!
Kinda.
I was
Save
watching
that chicken.
I was watching about. I was looking at about Slender Man. Okay.
Yeah, you better.
You better tell your chicken nuggets for the last time. Eat it, Freddy.
Stop calling me a chicken.
Freddy did. And I'm doing it again.
So the Halloween, but please let me know. I'm 18 years old. And this is gonna be my first everybody. Can I just please go to wearing it? Please can I go? Shut up! What?
The Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out. Yeah, we know. No, we know. I don't know how you say her name.
We knew what's gonna happen. Because it's Freddy, she called it a chicken nugget.
And Queen Lisa is a chicken.
I don't know what to...
Why is everyone
did
not?
you
Why is not one that's called like a bunny of it? Because it's freaking Easter time.
Yeah, Freddy, why
Because
are you
Freddy
here?
did it. Ow! It hurts so bad.
No, I thought it was gonna be Freddy time.
Punches Lisa's Freddy's in the face. That's for kids. Go feed that chicken.
Also, Freddy, that's all I have. I got you as a head.
That's me.
You idiot.
Just in your eyes.
Yeah, that's me. I'm gonna be going to Freddy time every day.
Well, I have you on the floor. You're
I
not doing
think that
anything
Freddy
else.
had destroyed your
There's
vibe
some money inside
on
of
your
you.
room.
Money! Give me some money!
No! We don't need money, Freddy's.
You're the
No.
Oh no.
No means no.
More like yes means yes.
No, that means no.
Yeah, wait, though. I'm gonna bring something up for you, Zip, though, if you see it or not. Forgot, you know what I got. Right?
Alright, I'm ready.
Better not, Philly.
Hope it's me.
Help is not you. It's mine.
So here it is.
Oh,
My God. How did you get that?
I made it though.
You made that?
Yeah. You can tell all the soundtracks in here, all like from One Night at Flumpty's 1 to 3, and also Flumpty Jam as well.
dang! How are
Don't
you
say that.
good?
Yeah, and then
Don't even say that.
Yeah, and then here it is.
Oh yes, that's the DVD itself. That's the music itself.
Yeah. I hope you saw that video I just made though, because you can hear the original music though. You hear.
Speaking of which, the Organics Academy Season 4 is happening. No spoilers.
The what?
And I'm gonna be in your video, Queen Lisa.
I don't think it's not gonna work, buddy.
Freaking, you sound
He
like
tried.
Goofy now. You're just
I
sound like
do
Goofy.
not sound like Goofy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you are.
Why?
Because I say so.
No.
Anyways, no spoilers.
Am I gonna be in your series, Queen Lisa?
I don't know. You're not on my list.
Yes, I am on your list.
No, it's Zip's on the list. Not you.
Wait, who's on the list?
You, Zip. You'll be the next on the Organics Academy to guesses.
And me, Mr. Freddy.
Ignore that chicken, Freddy. She's gonna give me vices.
More like, is that chicken Flappy Fat Bear?
Yeah, that one. She's not like a kid in my video. Bark, 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 bark.
It's been a while, Z though, because you didn't join my. Sometimes I'm in my live stream though. I forgot to tell you that.
Well,
You're welcome.
Well, I got busy with other things.
Oh, what kind?
I was making Godzilla characters.
Godzilla.
And then you took out terminated again. This better be good.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Have you watched Analog Horror of Godzilla? You watch?
Yeah, it was about Shin Godzilla turning into Biollante.
No, I'm talking about Analog Horror of Godzilla.
Oh, Analog Horror.
Yeah.
Yep, that one.
Like you know about that one about Godzilla, that Analog Horror?
Hold on, let me look it up.
It's really creepy though, but yeah. You saying Buzz or Buzz or something? I don't know.
You mean the man in the suit?
Yeah, like he's like trapped inside, becomes one as like Godzilla.
Oh, that one.
Was it kind of disturbing or you know?
When I first watched it, it was so creepy.
Yeah, it's just like this. I don't know the person of it though. He was like he's combined together of the Godzilla costume.
Excuse me 1 second. I was drinking the juice yesterday.
What kind of juice?
Freddy time.
It's Easter.
The soda.
What kind of soda?
Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah, Leafy. Leafy.
Yes.
Meet Titana's Destoroyah.
No, we got Bella in here in the chat. I'm looking at.
Oh no, it's Bella. It's better be good.
Hold on.
I
Hey,
forgot.
Leafy, I'm gonna upload it. I'll be right back. Okay.
Oh, finally. I'll leave.
Why are you showing
And this
us
is
your-
why Leafy they call Destoroyah the Devil Kaiju.
Is that Destroyer? That guy? For Charlotte Seasons? I tried to defeat him when I was little, but it didn't work.
And look what he also did to Godzilla. He just literally
no!
ripped his heart out.
No! How did that happen?
Well, because Destoroyah is in his nightmares.
Nightmare. Do that.
Wait,
Oh my
this
God,
is
Leafy.
information about so Shanila. Alright, what his name it was. Here's the picture of Shanila and Voucher. There.
So, by the way, can you?
Pain, hard time,
I
classes,
don't know. Can you put your YouTube channel in here in the private chat so I can subscribe to you, because I was wondering where were you, because I know you keep going away.
You talking to me, Leafy?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Okay, calm down.
No, just kidding. I'm just doing that. Okay, don't worry about me. I'm just doing stupid things. I'm the one with being.
you guys are so sensitive because I saw that my friend
Alright, I'm sending you the link.
Yeah, okay.
Put it in the private chat so I will subscribe
Put
to
it in
you.
the private chat.
Are you just mocking me, Queen Lisa?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You know what's gonna happen. I'm sorry. My bad.
Wait. Mega Man EXE. Wait, did I do that before?
What?
I was looking at your name of it. It's Queen Lisa.
Yes.
Mega Man.
Because Mega Man's still busy doing stuff. And I was doing busy stuff on the missions.
Let's see.
But I wish I had more time to use my own painting because I found a new one. With the old one.
All right, it's in the
was
private
actually-
chat.
Alright, I'll subscribe to you.
Yes! Yes! Let's see.
And it's Freddy time.
Don't hack it or terminate. Okay.
Probably they might have did.
No, I was looking at the. I was looking at your username, but I don't know why you put that there.
Well, I only put it that just in case because YouTube is falsely terminating users until 2026.
It was years ago.
Like what? Like you didn't post that much of videos you didn't make of it though? Is that what it is?
I mean, I was making a lot of popular videos, but then YouTube decides to take it too seriously.
Well, before whenever you said like you're not even posting that much of YouTube videos though. I don't know.
Because I was getting ready for my Godzilla reaction videos.
It's weird for like I hear like the news like no one posts not much videos of it though. YouTube, I don't know, delete people's their account though. It's like that's stupid though. It's like a bunch of people watching their videos a lot. So
I'll send you guys my videos.
you know, got your video. I'm looking and there's someone in here. It's Tord. And then I could tell you have a new look of you, Zip. And you have a different name called Hank.
Yeah, I decided to name him that.
I'll send it to
Hank! Give me the barbecue. Turn it to the.
I got the link of Alfie. Because I found this resume you wanted.
And Freddy.
Not even close, Freddy. It's about my reservations. Made of Finchetics modes 10 days ago.
I can see you love the show, Queen Lisa. I don't know what's the show about.
Sure is. But I'm using the music.
And Freddy time.
Is this
Oh,
music copyright?
I got you some. No, I think I found it from
No, I'm just checking.
from forever.
No, I'm just checking. I'm just checking though. I'm just checking.
Okay. I want to leave.
I was just checking like this music's copyright of it. Though.
Okay, I'm just saying it too. Alright, no, I know. I'm sorry. Just for like the
Hank. There it is. Hank, give me the sweet sour. The sweet's not barbecue. Hank.
Oh my
Who's
god.
that?
It's Tord. You didn't know.
Tord? If you're not using the chicken nuggets, please take her Freddy away from me. She's creeping me out.
No, it's Freddy time.
Yeah,
Come over
yeah,
here. It's Freddy time.
Don't take Freddy away from me from my phone spotlight. So there's no way he's gonna do that.
I was trying to say that's Tord from Ed's World.
Oh yeah, I've
that's
seen
right.
Ed's World.
Yeah, because you can
Me
tell. You can
too.
tell. Look at this thumbnail. Look, do you see his profile? It's Tord.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. Toad, please take away from Freddy. He's too dangerous.
I
No.
want to show you a video now. The one I was
Of
watching.
me?
Well,
Yep.
well, little bit, but it's about Slender.
A little
Slender
bit,
Man.
but still different funnies.
A little. It's about
What is
Slender Man.
up?
For the most
Oh yeah, that's Slenderman. That guy
What
was
would you say?
Kimberly. I cannot believe it.
Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, or maybe even Pennywise the clown? You got quite a few options.
Oh no,
there,
not
right?
Pennywise.
But what if I were to
You know
ask
that
you the same
creature's gonna
question
get me.
again, only to now name the most iconic internet horror character instead?
My name is Jeff.
Well, the majority of you would most likely instantly
Don't
think of only one of
Who
two
said
characters,
that? My name's
those
Jeff.
being
Who
Freddy
said it?
Fazbear
Oh, never
or
mind.
the
There's some
main man of
videos.
this video.
Slender Man.
Freddy Man.
I don't think there's a single
No,
character
that's
who's had as much
Slenderman
of an
spreading
impact
out
on
yours.
internet horror as Slenderman.
Don't say that.
And even after 15 years after this video's release, he remains one of, if not the most recognizable horror characters the internet has ever created. Over the years, there's been no shortage of internet horror characters who managed to make a name for themselves. But in terms of mainstream relevancy, Slenderman easily stomps them all. If you use the internet at any point during the early to mid 2010s, it is almost impossible for you not to have come across him at one point. This guy was everywhere. Games, video, memes, artwork, you name it. There was no getting around this guy. However, nowadays, apart from very few exceptions here and there, he's practically nowhere to be found. Aside from a remake of Slender the Arrival in 2023, the last relevant thing that was released for the franchise was the 2018 movie, and that was painful. So
Yeah.
how did this happen? How did a character that was once so popular end up fading into irrelevancy like this? Well, today, to celebrate Slendy's 15th birthday, I'd like to take you on a little journey through the history of the Slender Man, from his creation all the way to his downfall, to find out exactly why Slender Man faded into irrelevancy. The year is 2009, the first year of Obama's presidency, the year Justin Bieber released his first single, and the year Modern Warfare 2 was released, and most online gaming lobbies sounded something like this.
Oh my god, no.
Slenderman's story begins on a website called Something Awful, a comedy website and forum based around internet culture, more specifically parodying and making fun of internet culture. Every week, Something Awful would host a contest called Photoshop Friday, in which members were tasked with photoshopping images based around a specific theme.
Hello, everyone.
Every week. On June 8th,
Hello, my
2009,
dear
one of
friend.
Photoshop
Hello.
threads was created, in which the goal was to create the best
Hey guys, I wanted to show y'all
Going through
something good.
thread, quite a few
What is
scenarios
it?
that
Right
are
here.
very
I'm
well
watching,
made,
we're watching right here.
to amount that are,
Baby boxing.
well, not so well.
That is one big pile of shit.
Only 2 days after the threat was created, on June 10th, 2009, a user named Victor
Baby boxy
Surge
from
posted,
Slinky Box.
both of which came with a short story attached to it.
That's cute.
This was the first image, and the caption read, "We didn't want to go,
I didn't get the plush,
I
but
didn't
look,
want to
it's
kill
squishy.
them." But his persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time. 1983, photographer unknown, presumed dead. And this was
He
the
will
second
be
image,
our
which
mascot
was
for
captioned
my channel.
one of 2 recovered photographs from a Sterling City library blaze, notable for
Bruh.
being taken the day which 14 children vanished, for what is referred to as the Slender Man. Deformity cited as field defects by officials. Fire at library occurred 1 week
What
later.
is it,
Actual
Freddy?
photograph
Are you
confiscated at
scared?
1986. Photographer.
No, that was me. I was doing
Missing
that.
since June 13th, 1986.
Oh.
These 2 images mark the official birth
I was
of the
you.
Slender
Oh,
Man.
sorry, Alfie.
Unbeknownst to Victor Surge at the time, he just changed the history of internet horror forever. Something Awful users absolutely loved the idea of the Slender Man, and for the next few days, Victor would continue posting new images of his creation, each of which added a bit of lore to the character. Many of Slender Man's main traits were already established in these first couple of images, like him mainly preying
Wait,
on
somebody's
children,
about to join.
his ability to sprout a bunch of tentacles from his back,
Whoever
him running
that
around
is,
dark
please
forest
let her
areas,
in.
and his ability to mess with electrical equipment. With each new image that Victor posted, more and more users would start talking about the Slender Man, until eventually the original topic of
Okay,
the
let me see
Photoshop
the comments.
contest was pretty much completely abandoned, and the whole thing turned
It's
into a
the
Slender
chat.
Man thread instead.
Look at me.
Oh, hey, Daniel.
Here, I gotta go.
Look at me now.
Give me a mug of your finest.
On June 18th, 2009, a mere 8 days after Victor Surge posted his first 2 Slenderman images, a user named Cigars posted a short story in which he talked about his friend Alex. Alex
What?
had been working on his very first short film for the past
Leafy,
2 months before
Leafy.
abruptly abandoning the project for seemingly no reason,
What?
becoming incredibly distant.
Dor just said something inappropriate on the comments.
Wait, what?
He did. He did. He just got caught red-handed.
Oh, just let me just delete that.
Yes, please delete it.
Right? Actively
Dor,
avoiding
don't
contact
lie.
with
We
other
know
people.
what
After
I
a
just
few
saw.
weeks,
I know what
Cigars,
you just
also
did.
known as Jay, managed to convince Alex to let him come over. And when he did, Alex looked sick, and Jay noticed that he had lost a significant amount of weight. After hanging out for a bit, Jay eventually asked Alex about the short film he was working on and why he suddenly
Dor, we
decided
know
to
it's
abandon
you.
the project. Alex didn't really give a reason, but said that he never wanted to see any of the footage he had filmed ever again, and that he planned on burning all the tapes that he had. After a bit of convincing, Jay eventually managed to get Alex to give him the tapes instead, under the condition that Jay never brought them up to him ever again, to which Jay agreed and brought the tapes
Hey,
home.
Leafy.
Shortly after, Alex moved to a
What
different
is
state,
it?
and Jay never heard from him ever again.
Have
He
you
then
saw that
posted a
Penguin
second
Boys vid?
link for YouTube,
I'm back.
which is
Sorry I'm late.
What? And what you said?
Have you
I
seen
said
that
I'm
Penguin
back.
Boy
I
vid?
was
No, not you, Queen Lisa. I'm talking to him.
Have you saw that Penguin Boy vid? I just saw that he was bullying my friend Blocky.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes, I saw that.
the video that's playing on screen right now. In this video, he basically explains the whole situation again, ending it off by saying that all of this happened 3 years ago, and that Jay had been reluctant to look at the tapes ever since Alex gave them to him. However, now, 3 years later, he has finally gathered up enough courage to look at the tapes and decides he will start uploading them to YouTube in parts. This was the start of one of the most popular YouTube series ever created, Marble Hornets. The series was written and directed by Troy Wagner and Joseph DeLodge, and both would also star as the main characters, with Troy playing the role of Jay and Joseph playing the role of Alex. It is absolutely insane to me how only 8 days after Slenderman's creation, there were already people dedicated enough to create a fully acted out video series for the character. And what's even more insane to me is how big the series became. The series ran for exactly 5 years, from June 20th, 2009 to June 20th, 2014, and would get a total of 3 seasons with a combined runtime of 9 hours and 22 minutes. Now, as you can imagine, with a runtime that long, I'd be here all day if I wanted to discuss everything that happened in the series. But to give you a brief summary, the series
Wow.
went on by continuing the story of Jay as he watches each of the tapes to try and find out what happened to Alex during the filming of his project. We quickly find out that during filming, Alex would start to frequently get stalked by the Slenderman, who in the Marble Hornets universe is called
Hey,
the
Leafy
Operator.
Boy. Leafy Boy.
This continuous stalking slowly causes
What?
Alex
What?
Have you
What
seen the
was that?
music video of Doodleverse?
No, I never heard of that.
Well, it's an animation.
Okay, but I'm trying to watch this. We're trying to watch this.
from
I
extremely
can't even
paranoid,
talk.
completely obsessed with the Operator. So
okay,
practically
yeah,
his
right.
entire life revolved around proving the existence of and trying to capture footage of the Operator. After 2 months of doing this, in a final moment of clarity, Alex decides that he's had enough and abandons the entire project in an effort to save his sanity. This is when Alex turns the tapes over to Jay and moves to a different state. Jay then reveals that over the course of him uploading these tapes to YouTube, he's been doing his own research on the Operator for a while now, and has decided that he's going to continue the project where Alex left off. The series then goes on to follow Jay as he too slowly starts to become obsessed with the Operator, who now begins to haunt Jay as well. Again, I could fill the entire video by just talking about this series, but I'm not going to do that. I highly recommend checking out the series for yourself if you're interested, as it's one of the most influential pieces of media ever created for the Slenderman character and established a big part of the overall lore. Things like Static appearing when trying to film him, and his ability to drive people insane and turn them into his own little minions called proxies, were all tropes that were first introduced in Marble Hornets. The YouTube channel that hosted the series has close to 120 million views as of me writing this, and the series would even go on to get an official DVD release and a tie-in movie. Though I use the term tie-in very loosely here, as the movie barely has anything to do with the original series it was based on. It kind of feels like the name Marble Hornets was just slapped onto it to get fans of the original series to watch it. But even when looking at it as its own standalone thing, it's just not very good. To be completely honest with you,
it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
But despite that, I cannot give the original series enough credit for being one of the biggest contributors to Slenderman's success. It laid the groundwork for nearly every other adaptation of the character that followed. And I don't think Slenderman would have ever achieved the mainstream success that it did if it wasn't for this series. However, the found footage style that the series was filmed in, and all of the ARG elements that were implemented into the storytelling, made it way too convoluted and difficult to follow for the average viewer. Of course, internet horror fans were all over this, but the average Joe wasn't going to watch a video on YouTube and then go over to Twitter to read some cryptic clue, and then go back to YouTube again to a completely different channel that contained even more clues that were necessary if you wanted to understand the full story. Now, in order for Slenderman to reach a wider audience, it needed to be adapted into a different medium, something that would be a little easier to understand. Something like, I don't know, a video game maybe?
I'm stuck! I'm stuck! No! Dude, you suck! You suck! You suck!
Slender the 8th Page. Originally just named Slender without the 8 pages subtitle, this game was revolutionary for not just indie horror games, but for the internet as a whole, which is very impressive considering how incredibly simple the game actually is. The game was released on June 26, 2012 by a studio called Parsec Productions. It only had one very simple goal, which would be made known to the player immediately upon starting the game. Collect all 8 pages. When you load into the map, you find yourself in the middle of a dark forest with nothing but a flashlight in hand and your objective to find 8 pages. There's not even any music. All you can hear are crickets, the occasional owl, and the sound of your footsteps as you start looking for these pages, which you can find at various landmarks that are scattered across the map. If you follow the main path through the forest, it probably won't take you long to find your first page. These pages are made to look like the drawings Alex can be seen making of the operator in the Marble Hornets tapes. Upon collecting your first page, a low drum sound will start playing that sounds eerily similar to the Vine Boom sound effect. This is also when the Slender Man will start chasing you around the map. Slender Man will try to prevent you from collecting all the pages. You have to try and avoid him as much as possible. If you stare at him for too long, or if he gets too close to you, it's game over, as static covers your screen, and one of the most recognizable sounds in indie horror history starts to play. After collecting the first page, Slenderman starts out a bit shy, doesn't really let his presence be known to the player. He only spawns behind you at first, just out of your line of sight, and hides behind trees and bushes. Chances are you won't even spot him until you're 2 to 3 pages into the game. However, with each page you collect, the music starts to get more and more tense. Slenderman becomes more active and aggressive. No longer just stalking you from behind trees and bushes, but actively trying to catch you as he starts appearing right in front of you in an attempt to cut you off and block your path.
Why you bullying me?
He also becomes more aggressive the longer you go on without collecting another page. So the faster you are collecting the pages, the easier the game stays. On top of that, your flashlight only has limited battery life. Right after
What's this happen? Okay.
After exactly,
we'll go back.
And on top of that, your flashlight only has limited battery life. It gradually gets more dim the longer you use it. You do have the option to turn the flashlight off to extend the battery life, but after exactly 15 minutes and 45 seconds of use, the flashlight dies, leaving you in complete darkness for the remainder of the game. Though if that happens, you're pretty much dead already, because you can barely see 5 feet in front of you without a flashlight, making it almost impossible to find. And a little bit of persistence, it's definitely possible to.
Hey, Leafy. I send you something in the chat.
Get you a Slender Man give you free Robux. Nope, you still die. But you get
I send you something in the chat.
And you
I see it,
unlock
I
a
see it,
daytime
I
mode,
see it.
so you can now play, well, during the day.
No shit.
But no matter what you do, the ending to the game will always remain the same. Slender Man will get you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And that covers pretty much everything the original Slender game has to offer. It's extremely simple gameplay-wise, and in terms of graphics, it's nothing special either. To be completely honest with you, it actually looks kind of bad, even for 2012 standards. Just look at the actual Slender Man model, for example. I mean, what the hell am I even looking at? The guy looks like a Q-tip dressed for a funeral. And what are those? He's wearing flippers.
What are those? They are my
Flippers. Those are some finger-looking ass feet, man. Also, some of the landmarks you can find the pages at are random as hell and don't really make any sense. Like this bathhouse, for example, that has absolutely nothing in it except for a chair.
Yeah.
Or these random walls that are just there in the middle of a forest for seemingly no reason whatsoever. And the most random of them all, I don't know. Like, honestly, what is the point of this tunnel? It leads absolutely nowhere. It's just on the middle of this path for no reason. Why would someone ever build this here? And why do I even care?
Wow, that's a great question.
Look, I just want to say that this is all in good fun. I really don't want to bash the game or anything because this is all in retrospect. At the time, this game was genuinely scary. And also many people, myself included, first time ever playing a horror game.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And despite its simple gameplay and presentation, this game, which was originally just made for people who were already familiar with the Slender Man lore, became a giant hit, even with people who had never even heard of Slender Man before. And actually, I think hit is an understatement. This game became a phenomenon in every sense of the word, especially on YouTube. I cannot overstate the impact this game had on the Let's Play genre of YouTube. I mean, Let's Plays on indie horror games were already a thing on YouTube way before Slender came out. Amnesia and Aoni, for example, were very popular indie horror games many YouTubers played before that. But the release of...
Have you saw the trailer for Hurry Up Tomorrow?
No.
Well, the movie will be starring The Weeknd and Jenna Ortega.
All right.
Also, you have to react to the trailer.
Slender really was a turning point for the Let's Play genre. Things like the face cam, for example, really only started to become popular after the release of this game, because people wanted to see the person playing's reaction to the spooky Slender jump scare. Now, I'm not saying Slender invented that style of videos, but it most definitely popularized it. I mean, after Slender, pretty much every gaming YouTuber started using face cams for pretty much everything. And for the most part, that's still the standard today. But the main reason I say Slender was a turning point for the Let's Play genre is because I feel like before Slender, it was still kind of seen as weird to watch other people play games, at least by most people. But to me, the time around Slender's popularity kind of marks an overall social transition in a sense, at least when it comes to YouTube. YouTube was getting more and more popular each year, slowly starting to become more mainstream. And watching and making gaming videos, and I guess YouTube videos in general, was starting to no longer be seen as a waste of time. It was instead starting to get seen as a normal hobby, and in some cases even an actual viable career choice. The Let's Play genre was already slowly on the rise because of this, and the massive success of Slender the 8 Pages gave the genre a massive popularity boost that introduced it to a more mainstream audience. And I genuinely don't think a game like Five Nights at Freddy's would have ever seen the success that it did if it wasn't for the success of Slender the 8 Pages, and the way it helped shape and popularize the Let's Play genre on YouTube. Now again, I'm not claiming that Slender is solely responsible for creating the Let's Play genre or the current Let's Play
Also,
format.
Leafy Annoying One played this as a parody.
The game also gave a huge boost to many YouTubers who later go on to become household names, like PewDiePie, for example, who got his first viral video from playing this game.
Excuse me.
Just as much of an impact as Slender had
Oh,
on
the
the
PewDiePie.
overall YouTube landscape, it had in the
PewDiePie.
horror game landscape as well. I don't think there's a single game in history before the release of Slender that managed to spawn as many
fan games
as
with
this game did.
Slender.
I mean, I know the amount of fan games.
Bro, I think I just saw PewDiePie. Pro Fist.
Comparison. That was a few years after. This was really the first time in internet history where a game became so popular that so many fan games and parodies were created for it. Some of these fan games kind of served as updates or expansions to the base game by keeping the gameplay and mechanics the exact same as the 8 Pages, but creating new maps for it. Sanatorium, Hospice, and Elementary, for example, were some of the
Slender
most popular
Shadows.
maps. But most of these games were just shitty, low-effort parody games that were borderline shitposts, or in some cases, just literally shitposts.
Yeah. I knew
There
it.
were some genuinely good ones that had some actual thought and effort put into them, like Slendercraft, for example, which takes place in a recreation of the original 8 Pages map, but in a Minecraft style. And instead of a flashlight, you now start the game off with a torch and must collect crafting materials on top of the 8 Pages, which you can use to craft a flashlight and get rid of your torch.
Leave
I
you
think that's a
pause,
very
pause
creative way
this,
to
pause this for a sec.
implement actual
I wanted to
Minecraft
tell you something.
mechanics
Okay,
into
y'all.
the game. It helps it stand out from other fan games that are usually really nothing more than glorified reskins. Another
What is this? What is it?
So apparently
tell us
I
something?
have an announcement to make. So I am battling a giant snake VTuber called Vexoria Sun Eater. She is ginormous. So I can defeat her as a Super Smash Bros. Player.
All right.
Because I can go Super Saiyan and turn into an Inkling and a ghost.
All right, man. Let's get back to the video.
Wait, do you have the key from Kingdom Hearts?
Yes. Can we go back to the video now? Or no, no.
Can you show it to us?
You saw my Keyblade before though, but I do have a Keyblade of it though. But can I? Like, can we just like go back? Continue the video.
Yeah, we can go back. We only have a minute.
Just please, no more talking, okay? Like we're still trying to watch.
Another fan game that really stands out is, of course, Slendytubbies, a series to which I personally owe a lot. The video of me playing through the series pretty much kickstarted my channel. What makes Slendytubbies so unique is that it isn't just a single game, but an entire series with its own lore and everything. While the first game in the series probably falls under the shitpost banner, the second game is actually really enjoyable. It has multiple maps to choose from, most of which have custom enemies of mutated Teletubbies. And the third game has an hour-long story mode campaign with boss fights and dialogue options. And it even has an online multiplayer mode. It's actually insane for a parody game. Slendytubbies is probably the most popular Slender parody out there. And I highly recommend checking it out for yourself if you haven't already. Anyway, a big reason as to why so many fan games were being made in such a short amount of time is of course because of how popular Slender the 8 Pages was on YouTube. Every gaming YouTuber at the time just kept cranking out video after video of just them playing these parody games, and everyone just kept watching it. It was easy money for them. And Slendy didn't limit himself to just gaming videos. Oh no, he was literally everywhere. He started making appearances at Comic-Cons and on your mom's Facebook wall, in a bunch of clothing stores. There was no getting around this guy. People started dressing up as Slender Man, and all kinds of parody videos featuring the character were being made on the daily. Like seriously, anyone who sold white morph suits during that time could wipe their ass with $100 bills, because they were making big bucks. This really was the peak of Slender Man's popularity. Almost every day, new Slender Man related content was being released. Games, skits, song parodies, you name it. And it all happened because of one simple game. The developers of Slender the 8 Pages, Parsec Productions, were very quick to notice their game's rising popularity and began working on a sequel pretty much immediately after. The game was going to be a direct sequel to the 8 Pages. It was going to have an actual story this time around. It was being developed in collaboration with Blue Isle Studios and the original creator of Slender Man himself, Victor Surge. This was going to be the first, and unbeknownst to anyone at the time, also the last, big-budget, full-studio video game adaptation of Slender Man. And with the insane popularity of Slender the 8 Pages, and now even the original creator of Slender Man involved in the writing and production of the game, automatically making it an actual canon part of the Slender lore, this game just had the most perfect setup to become a massive, surefire hit. Only it wasn't. But before I actually start talking about this game, I feel like this is a perfect moment for me to clear something up first. At the beginning of my Slendytubbies video, one of the first things I said was this. There was this game that everyone played, then there was this game that no one played, and a lot of people took that as me saying that the game was bad, that it was a giant flop or something, which it definitely wasn't financially speaking. And I obviously didn't mean it literally when I said that no one played it. That was just me trying to be funny. But let's be honest here, Slender the Arrival didn't even come close to the popularity and the lasting impact that Slender the 8 Pages had, even though it had the most perfect setup to do just that, which is why I made that joke. Now, to be fair, while the game certainly has its flaws, which I'm definitely going to discuss in a minute here, this really isn't fully the developer's fault. There's a lot of factors for why that happened or completely out of their control. But before I go into all that, let's take a look at the actual game first. Slender the Arrival released on March 26, 2013, exactly 9 months after the release of Slender the 8 Pages. Let's start by briefly going over the new story that was written especially for this game. Now, same as I did with Marble Hornets, I'm not going to go into too much detail as that would simply take too long. But if you want a more in-depth explanation of the story after this, I highly recommend this video by Super Horror Bro, which I'll link in the description. I also quickly want to mention that I'll only be discussing the original version of the game from when it was first released, and not any of the later updates or content that was added post-launch. Mostly because I'm also going to be discussing the overall reception of the game upon its release, and the impact it had on Slenderman's legacy. And I don't feel like any updates added after all of that are relevant to that discussion. So yeah, I felt like that was important to mention before going into this. I do actually plan on making a video after this about the Arrival as a whole, including
What's going on?
all of its
Hello?
updates and post-launch content, because I do have a lot to say about that, but for this video, I'll be discussing the original release version of the game only. Alright, with that said, here we go. In the game, you play as a woman called Lauren, who's about to go visit her best friend Kate. Kate unfortunately lost her mother recently, and because of that has now inherited her childhood home. She has decided that she wants to sell it, and has asked Lauren for help with selling the house and packing things up. When Lauren arrives at the house, however, she finds the place completely trashed, and Kate nowhere to be found. Upon investigating further, she discovers that Kate's entire bedroom is covered with pages full of insane ramblings and multiple drawings of a strange and mysterious tall figure who appears to have been stalking Kate. Spoiler alert! It was the Slender Man. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? Lauren then hears a scream coming from the woods, and thinking it might be Kate's, she decides to head into the woods to try and find her friend.
Who's to die?
Throughout the course of the game, she eventually starts to get hunted by Slenderman herself, along with some other strange creature wearing a hoodie and a mask, who appears to be aiding him. Eventually, Lauren gets led into a trap and gets knocked unconscious. When she wakes up, she finds herself in the basement of an old burned-down house. After making her way upstairs, she finally finds her friend Kate, who's quietly sobbing in a dark corner of the house. When Lauren approaches her, she suddenly transforms into the masked creature that was trying to hunt her down earlier and attacks Lauren, revealing that this creature was Kate all along, and that she has been turned into one of Slenderman's proxies. The game then ends with a cutscene of Lauren being dragged away, presumably either having been killed or also about to be turned into another proxy for the Slenderman. And that's a very summed up version of Slender the Arrival's story. Personally, I think the story is fine for what the game is, and I especially like how it doesn't go into Slenderman's backstory at all, or try to explain his motives or anything like that. That way, Slenderman remains this mysterious and unpredictable entity whose motives are completely unknown to anyone but himself, and I believe Slenderman works best that way. There have been a few attempts over the years to give Slenderman a backstory, and it just never really seems to work for one reason or another. The most notorious attempt is probably the one from a fan game called Haunted Memories, in which Slenderman was once a man named Mark Slender, which is already a little on the nose if you ask me, who was burned alive inside of a bunker by German soldiers during World War II, which then somehow caused him to become the Slenderman, which is of course just dumb and no one liked that, so I appreciate the fact that they didn't try to do anything similar in Slender the Arrival. Another thing about the game I really liked was the atmosphere. It's easily the game's strongest point in my opinion. One of my favorite things about the game is that while playing, you'll often hear stuff like footsteps or things rustling in bushes behind or next to you, even though there's absolutely nothing there when you look.
Hey, we can check out my
It's a
house.
really good job at keeping you tense and never
That's
making
cool.
you feel safe, which I absolutely love. But that also brings me right into what is probably my biggest personal grievance with this game. And that's that to me, it often feels like the game actively tries to take you out of its immersion as much as it possibly can. And one of the biggest ways it unfortunately manages to do that for me is through the game's use of collectibles.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
See, Slender the Arrival doesn't actually tell you its story straight up, but instead does so through a bunch of collectibles that are scattered throughout the game. These collectibles are things like letters and emails and newspaper clippings and stuff like that, and most of them make little to no sense whatsoever just by themselves. But if you take all of them and put them into context of one another, you'll be able to piece together the backstory of what happened prior to Lauren arriving at Kate's house, which is where the game starts. And with that added context, you're then able to understand what's going on throughout the events of the actual game itself. Now, what's the problem with this? Well, the problem is that most people don't give a shit about collectibles. And because collecting them all is pretty much a requirement if you want to understand literally anything that happens in the game, most people, including myself when I first played it back in the day, will have absolutely zero clue what is even happening throughout the entirety of the game. It just puts you in a bunch of random scenarios, refuses to elaborate on any of them, and before you know it, the game's over. It doesn't even tell you something as basic as who it is that you're playing as, or whose house it is that you're visiting at the beginning of the game. You can only learn that through these collectibles.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta.
Now, to go back to my original point, why does this ruin the immersion of the game? Well, because you're practically forced to stop playing it every time you enter a new area, and either start roaming around aimlessly looking for these things, or exit the game and pull up a guide on like YouTube or something. And while that mysterious way of storytelling may work for a game like Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, where the story is more of a secondary bonus thing and not really the main focus of the game, for a game that has an actual dedicated story mode like Slender the Arrival has, that just doesn't work. Because what's the point of playing through a game's story mode if it's not even going to tell you the actual story? What I think it should have done instead was the same thing that Slendytubbies 3 did for its story mode. And before anyone asks, yes, I am about to unironically use a Slendytubby game as an example to criticize a game made by an actual professional game studio. Deal with it. Slendytubbies 3 opens up with a small bit of text that in only a few sentences sets up the game's world and gives you just enough lore information for you to understand the scenario you're about to be put in and play through. And then it keeps doing that at the beginning of every chapter. If The Arrival did something similar to that and only included extra details about the story and its collectibles for those who wanted to find out more about the game's lore, like most games do, I wouldn't have a problem with any of it. But unfortunately, it didn't do that, and that makes me sad. Some other big points of criticism the game received were that it was too short, which I'd say is fair. On average, it only takes about 90 minutes to play through the story mode, and there's even an achievement you can unlock if you manage to beat the game in only 45 minutes, which I don't know if that's an achievement, man. That's just kind of sad. Another big one was that the game was very repetitive, which, yeah, I'd say is also fair. It didn't really do much to expand on the gameplay ideas of the original Slender the 8 pages, and a lot of its sections boiled down to really nothing more than some kind of variation to find all the pages. Turn on all generators, close all the windows, or just literally find 8 pages. Twice. And when your game is only about 90 minutes long, having like 5 sections of what are basically just variations of the exact same gameplay idea can definitely make it feel repetitive. Now, to be fair to the game, it was sold for only $10 and was made in only 9 months' time. So I'd say it was very fairly priced for what you ended up getting. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of people, myself included, were just expecting a little more. This was, after all, a game made by an actual game studio and had some pretty high expectations to meet after the phenomenon that was Slender the 8 pages. And whether it was fair or not in retrospect, a lot of people were just left a little disappointed after playing it.
He's just standing there.
Menacingly!
So yeah, like I said at the beginning of this segment, Slender the Arrival definitely has its fair share of flaws. But I also said that there were some other factors as to why this game didn't reach the same amount of popularity as Slender the 8 pages did. Factors that were completely out of the developer's control. And the big...
What is it now?
I wanted to show you this song right here. Song right here. This is non-copyright. Look at this.
Well, I still trust it because I know you're in Just Dance. I'm looking at it because you love Just Dance. You love to play that game so much.
Yeah. My birthday is July 20.
I see.
I'll be 16 by then.
All right.
Biggest one of these is simply the fact that by the time The Arrival released, most people were just tired of seeing Slender Man everywhere.
Irony. That means Siren
I'm
Powers
absolutely
coming
certain
back.
that the game's developers worked their asses
I
off to
just
get the
stop,
game out in
okay?
only 9 months' time. But as has always been the case with most things, when something becomes popular as quickly as Slender did, it usually loses that popularity again
Hey,
just
Queen
as
Lizard.
fast as it was gained. And unfortunately for the developers, a lot of people had
Yes.
already moved on to the next big thing by the
How
time
are
the
you
game dropped.
doing?
And while there were more than enough people who were still interested in the Slender
I'm
Man,
doing
and the
great.
game wasn't a
Thanks for
financial
noticing.
failure by any means, I'm sure it wasn't as successful as the developers had hoped coming off the success of the 8 pages. I also feel
Okay,
that the
please
insane
subscribe to my
growth
channel.
of the Let's Play genre on YouTube during this time created a new type of audience
Thank
that
you.
just wanted to watch
I
their
need
favorite
more.
YouTuber play scary
I need
games
more
that they otherwise
patience.
never would have played. let alone
Also, can
bought
you please
themselves.
subscribe to my
They're
channel?
never going to actually buy a game like The Arrival. They just wanted to see a
Sir,
PewDiePie
why
or
not?
Markiplier get scared while playing it. They were
Right here.
interested in the YouTuber they watched, but that didn't always mean that they were also interested in the games they played, which often resulted in interest in the game seeming much larger than it actually was. And on top of that, Slender 8 Pages was completely free, whereas Slender The Arrival cost $10, which automatically meant that the player base was going to be much smaller because of that. I genuinely believe that if Slender 8 Pages had cost $5, it never would have reached the hype that it did now that it was free.
Yes, 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 yes. No, 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 fuck.
But whatever the reasons may be, the game received very mixed reviews from both fans and critics alike, with some
Right here.
absolutely loving it and others absolutely hating it. I personally fall somewhere in the middle. I definitely don't hate the game. I think there are a lot of things it does really well, and it's easily the best Slender game out there. And since it was sold for only $10, I feel like I can't really complain too much. But to be completely honest, I'm not exactly a fan either. I had hoped that replaying the game for this video all these years later
Look,
would
Queen
change
Lista
my
is
opinion
right
on
here.
it, but even after doing so, I just can't help but feel a little
I see.
disappointed. I think that the game just could have been so much more than what it eventually ended up being. Also, in case any of you watching weren't aware yet, last year the game received a free update for its 10th anniversary, where they pretty much remade the entire game and gave it a complete visual overhaul. And I believe they're even planning to add a multiplayer mode and mod tools to the game that allow you to create your own custom levels. So if you feel the urge to go back and replay The Arrival after this, then I'd say now is a better time.
We
than
are
ever.
drinking a Sprite.
Unfortunately, though, as genuinely awesome as these updates are, it's not going to change how the game was received back when it first came out. As for most people, when they think of Slender Man,
I think I
they
just saw
think
you
of the
drinking
8
a Sprite.
Pages and not The Arrival. And that really should have been the other way around. Ultimately, people were quickly starting to lose interest in Slender Man. And while the game definitely was a financial success, it failed to revive overall public interest in the Slender Man character, who continued to lose popularity by the day. While he definitely still had his fair share of fans, his decreasing popularity over the years that followed really meant the beginning of the end for the character. Then, on May 31st, 2014, something happened that, to this very day, I still can't believe actually happened in real life. Honestly, when I first read about this, I thought it was a joke or meant to be satire or something, but unfortunately, it was very real. On May 31st, 2014, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, two 12-year-old girls, Morgan and Anissa, lured their friend Peyton into the woods after a sleepover, stabbed her 19 times, and left her there. Peyton, who was also only 12 at the time, managed to crawl to a nearby road, where she was found by a passing cyclist, who immediately contacted emergency services. Luckily, both attackers were quickly arrested, and Peyton managed to make a full recovery. Now, those of you who've never heard this story before might be thinking, what does this have to do with Slender Man?
David,
Well,
what are you talking
during
about?
police questioning, the two girls said that they didn't actually want to kill Peyton, but believed they had to in order to save them and their families from getting killed by the Slender Man. Yes, I'm not kidding.
There's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki. Okay. It's full of like horror stories that are meant to purposely scare you, and there's one of them called Slender Man.
Because they believed that they and their families were being targeted by the Slender Man, their plan was to offer themselves up to him to become his proxies, which they hoped in turn would cause Slender Man to leave their families alone. But before they could do that, they had to prove themselves worthy first, which is why they tried to kill Peyton, or Bella as they nicknamed her.
He has these proxies or servants, as people call them. Morgan said, "Hey, Anissa, we should be proxies." I was like, "Okay, how would we do that?" She said, "We have to kill Bella because we had to supposedly prove ourselves worthy to Slender."
Like I said, when I first heard about this, I thought it was supposed to be something satirical, just because of the sheer ridiculousness of it all. But unfortunately, it was very real and incredibly tragic. Understandably so, this story made international news, but what a lot of media really wanted to focus on wasn't necessarily the case itself, but more so this mysterious Slender Man and how dangerous he supposedly was.
The motive, say police, to win the favor of a fictional internet horror character called Slenderman, who the girls found on the horror fantasy website creepypasta.wikia.com.
And due to many people now learning about Slenderman, and by extension creepypastas in general, for the first time through the horrible and frankly dishonest way they were being portrayed on the news, public perception of Slenderman quickly turned from him being a silly internet meme to him now being the symbol of some strange online cult with the ability to turn your kids into murderers, which caused many concerned parents to start mass monitoring their kids' online activity to make sure that they stayed away from these oh so dangerous creepypastas.
Oh my god.
This game, you're not ready.
The Creepypasta Wiki in particular, which was mentioned multiple times during the girls' police questionings, started receiving heavy criticism from people who claimed that the site was responsible for publishing and spreading the information that caused these girls to become obsessed with the Slenderman, and that it was therefore at least partially responsible for what happened to Peyton. And many people even blamed the site directly for the incident and wanted the entire website banned altogether. This got so out of hand that the Creepypasta Wiki eventually had to issue a public statement in which they said all of the works presented on this wiki and other
All
sites,
the people
including
around
Slenderman, Jeff the Killer, and Drowned, Sonic.exe, etc., are fictional stories and characters.
Well, duh.
Now, I'm not going to read the full statement, but I will put it on screen. So if you want to, you can pause the video here and read the full thing yourself. But they ended off by saying, there is a line between fiction and reality, and it is up to you to realize where that line is. We are a literature site, not a crazy satanic cult. Honestly, the fact that this even needed to be said and that all of this actually happened in real life over a creepypasta character of all things is still to this day just absolutely insane to me. However, due to all of this, creepypastas in general were now kind of seen as something evil by the general public. And if you brought up the topic of creepypastas around other people, they'd often directly associate it with this incident and get uncomfortable. Creepypastas kind of became a taboo topic, especially Slenderman. I mean, people started treating him like freaking Voldemort. We do not speak his name. Like, if people heard you talking about Slenderman, they'd look at you as if they just overheard you saying that you invited Bill Cosby to your kid's birthday party.
Bruh.
It was absolutely ridiculous. But as with any nationwide moral panic and controversy like this, most people eventually forgot about creepypastas again and moved on to the next thing. But unfortunately for Slenderman, the damage was already done, and his name would forever be associated with this tragic incident. Many projects involving the Slenderman character were cancelled after this in fear of receiving backlash, and it kind of meant the end for the character. However, many fans still remained a little sliver of hope that one day people would just forget about this whole thing and new Slenderman-related media would start to come out again. And they were right, unfortunately. On August 10th, 2018, Sony released a movie about Slenderman, simply titled Slender Man, and it was a complete disaster. So sorry in advance to all the 3 people watching who actually like this movie, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not one of you. Everything about this movie just sucks. The writing and dialogue, it's top secret.
Oh, I see. A circle jerk?
The CGI,
Yikes.
the editing, it's just no bueno. Well, let's start by briefly going over the plot first. There's this group of 4 teenage girls who are best friends. One night, they're hanging out together, watching porn, as teenagers obviously do whenever they hang out,
Do you think she likes that?
Oh my god!
until one of them brings up the Slenderman, a mysterious mythical creature that makes people disappear. They try to find some info about him online and eventually stumble upon a forum website that contains a link to a video that supposedly summons the Slenderman. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember being able to summon him was ever established to be a thing anywhere prior to this movie. I mean, who does he think he is anyway? A Bloody Mary or something? Get out of here, man. The video instructs them to close their eyes once they hear a bell ring, and only to reopen them once they hear a third bell ring. The video starts off with a couple of random shots of a dark forest. Then a bell rings, they close their eyes. Then there are some more shots of a forest, which are actually kind of pointless when you think about it, because you're supposed to have your eyes closed anyway at that moment, before eventually a third bell rings. And when the girls open their eyes again, Slenderman himself makes a brief second cameo in the video before it cuts to a seizure-inducing edit of flashing images that would feel right at home in an EXE game. Most of these images don't really seem to have anything to do with Slenderman whatsoever. But like the Illuminati logo, for example, I mean, why is that even in here? It feels like they were trying way too hard to be edgy in this movie. I mean, you might as well have just put the Jeff the Killer image or like Smile Dog or something in there for good measure. Anyway, then the video ends and they're all just sitting there speechless and confused about what they just watched. But the girls weren't the only ones who were confused at that point, because so was I. This Slenderman summoning video was brought up a couple more times after this, and throughout the entire movie, I just couldn't help but think, who filmed this? Who? I mean, Slenderman himself makes an actual physical appearance in the video, right? So, did he film this himself? Like, did he have a tripod or a selfie stick or something to film this with? Or did he hire someone to make him a promo video? I'm genuinely confused here. It makes no sense. Anyway, the rest of the film then follows these 4 girls as they slowly start to go insane and become obsessed with the Slender Man, until he eventually starts picking them off one by one and takes them. Or at least he takes 3 of them. And the other one he turns into zombie Michael Jackson from the Thriller music video. Also, like I said, this movie has some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in a horror movie. There's this one scene where one of the girls is making out with her crush on the couch, and then she starts hallucinating, and the guy's face becomes all distorted and twisted. I genuinely can't believe that this scene made it into the final cut of the movie. It's actually that bad. There are also a whole bunch of scenes that are just edited in a weird way and don't really seem to make any sense. The Slender Man summoning video again is a perfect example of that, where a scene is just filled with random and completely unrelated imagery that seems to just be there to try and make it edgy. There's another scene where one of the girls is having some kind of vision in her head, and it shows this. I mean, what even is this? This scene looks like one of those edgy video art projects people claim to have found on the deep web. But my absolute favorite scene in the entire movie has to be the one where Slender Man turns into a giant-ass spider and starts chasing one of the girls. I don't know where that was ever stated to be one of his abilities, but that's pretty fucking cool, man. He should really do that more often. Something I did like about the movie was how it showed the original Slender Man image.
The Slender Man movie is so scary. I had nightmares about that movie.
Well, some people say it sucks because it's not that good about the movie.
Also,
I think it's kind of
throughout
good.
The entire movie, you can hear a bell whenever Slender Man shows up.
Do you hear
I know it's scary, but
While I
it's not
don't
really
think it was
good though.
intentional, it kind of
But
reminded
what
me
about
of
the Five Nights at Freddy's one? Isn't that a good movie?
A couple of pages.
Well, yeah, it was a very good movie though, but a bunch of people like some of them it's not like I don't know, people doesn't like that much.
Also,
of the movie.
Leafy.
What?
Also, Leafy.
What?
My friend at school, Hildy, wanted to add Pit the Angel from that Nintendo game to be in my series.
All right.
Again, I highly doubt that was intentional, but I'll give it a free point just for that reason. Overall, the movie was a giant flop and really killed any possible hope that still remained of the Slender Man character ever making a comeback. It was met with terrible reviews from both fans and critics alike. With a review
Dang, that was the low rate of views.
The film as a
Yeah,
nail in the coffin.
because I tell you, because the Slender movie it sucked to it because it's not that really good horror of it though. I know
Slender Man does make a comeback.
I don't know.
Slender Man
We'll
makes a
see.
comeback. For a brand new game though, but not a movie.
In his review said, Slender Man aspires to be for the YouTube generation what The Ring was for the VHS generation. But there's one fundamental difference that sets these two movies apart, and that's that The Ring was good, and Slender Man is terrible. And I honestly have nothing to add to that. Slender Man completely faded from the public conscience after this movie was released, and unfortunately still, to this very day, has never been able to recover. Slender Man, without a doubt, has one of the most interesting backstories of any internet horror character ever. While characters like Freddy Fazbear, or pretty much any creepypasta character in history, were always designed and written with the intent and hope that they would one day become popular online, Slender Man was created for a simple Photoshop competition for a fairly niche group of people. He was never created with the intent to become the viral sensation that he did. It just kind of happened by accident, which makes his story extra special. But that only makes it even more unfortunate that his story has such an incredibly sad ending. The impact that Slender Man had on internet culture and indie horror gaming cannot be overstated. But despite his viral success, people never really seemed to be able to figure out what to do with the character and where to take him next. He never really evolved much as a character after he initially became popular, and his games especially always seem to boil down to the same few gameplay ideas. There have been some genuine attempts over the years, but not a single project involving the Slender Man character has ever been able to reach the same viral success as Slender the 8 Pages did all the way back in 2012. People seem to just kind of be tired of the character after they were done turning him into a giant meme. And that, followed up by a real-life crime committed in his name that turned him into a taboo topic amongst the general public, and then a terrible movie release a few years after that, which killed any possible interest anyone still might have had left in the character, are the exact reasons for why Slender Man faded into irrelevancy.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. I want y'all to see the plot episode. I want y'all to see the plot episode. This is the time where all the squad met. This plot episode is very legendary because I had the voice act as the narrator for this show. Levy, did you saw the link?
Yes, I'm looking at the link. I'm trying to look at it. I don't know. I don't know. I really want to show that though.
It's okay. You can show it. You can show the plot episode. It is censored, by the way. But I'll show it. Somehow.
Well, I was about to end the stream of it though because no one's watching right now. I got the.
Wait, you're about to end the stream?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have a joy and happy Easter today.
Yeah, happy Easter to everyone.
And I'll see
Thank you. So are you.
In the next stream.
I'll see you guys. Bye.
Yay.